Hi, I'm Lee King with Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We have a great show tonight. We've got Donnie Jones, former LSU Catholic High Bear. We got to get Catholic High Bear out there. A lot of people forget that he's a local guy that played at a Catholic high school. His dad, Don Jones, is going to be joining us. We've got Todd Berry, the president of the Coaches Association for College Coaches, the AFCA. And we have three big-time Denham Springs recruits, Luke Lunsford, Alexander Harris, and Lake Thorburn, that's going to all be on. And look, these guys are sleepers. One's committed to Brown University, and all these guys are good enough to play college ball. We got much more. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain. Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. No issues even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident,
The E-guarantee.
and as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee King, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Really special guest. You know, some people you go through life and you just say, hey, the guy played for LSU and he punted, or played for the Dolphins or the Seahawks, like my guest Donnie Jones. But when you really know someone, I never get nervous, man. It's like you have a friend on, and then it's like 20-something years go by, and all of a sudden, you know, 15 plus years in the NFL, you meet this person when they're a kid at Catholic high school at the age of 17, and you talk to their parents, you get to meet their parents, and that's what's so great about Louisiana. You know, people are so close, and communities, and then you see one of our own go to the NFL in Donnie Jones, and I don't know if Donnie even knows this, and we're going to talk about his background and all the records and everything at LSU and Catholic High and all the different pro teams he played for, but he is the longest tenured punter from Louisiana in the history of the NFL. Isn't that crazy? Did you know that?
I did not know that. I did not.
No one punted in the NFL longer than Donnie Jones that's from Louisiana. Now, maybe someone's going to call me out and say they were born in Louisiana, but I'm talking about like playing high school football in Louisiana. David Lee played 9 or 10 years with the Colts. That's back when Burt Jones was the quarterback. He was from Mendon, Louisiana. Steve Sifries played a little bit also as a punter. You know Steve. He played a few years from Destrehan.
Yeah.
Not quite 15 years.
You know, it was a blessing. First, I want to say thanks for having us. And I'm very proud of you too, though, man. You have, from when I first met you 20 plus years ago, you have come a long way. And you've put in a lot of time and worked very hard, just like myself. So I want to say congrats. I'm proud of you too, Lee.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. You're watching NFL games now. You got your dad here on the couch.
Yeah.
Don Jones. Your mom's Amanda. I want to give a shout out to your mother. This man right here has done a lot, and he's been a part of everything that's moved since high school. Actually, the first time I got a chance to know who Donnie Jones was through your dad.
You know, it's been a long road. I can think back. I don't remember everything, and he probably remembers a lot more than I do. But, you know, going to camps, basically recruiting schools, because back then schools weren't knocking your door down to sign a punter.
Right, right.
So he did a lot of work, took me to a lot of camps, battled through injury. I remember, I think it was my freshman year, pulling my hamstring at a camp, and I kept punting and kept punting. But, you know, to kind of look back and see where I started and what I was able to accomplish, you know, it was really special. But, you know, I did a lot of it, but there were also people in my life that were very important, such as my dad, my parents, you know, my wife Aubrey, that really throughout the journey, you know, were, you know, really helpful to me. So when I look back and where it first started, really having the support of them to take me to all these places, to write letters to these schools, to contact you to try to get my name out there, you know, it was more than just me.
Yeah, Don, you know, it's like everything is just, it's like yesterday. You know,
Yeah,
23 years go by, 24
so
years
quick,
go by.
right.
But I remember you calling me one afternoon in 1996. I'm like, wow. So you call me and then like, look, I have a son at Catholic High and we need a little advice.
Right.
I'll read your magazine.
Right. Yeah, and Donnie's thank you, Lee, but I'd like to thank you too, because at the stage Donnie was at that time, you need somebody to believe in you.
Right.
And you believed in him, and we're able to, you know, get his name out there to different schools, to different
There's a lot of moms and dads that watch the show, so I mean this is good for them because, you know, there's kids that are going to be on the show later from Denham Springs that are trying to get scholarships, and you know, not everybody's going to go Division I, and that's okay. You know, there's 1AA, which they now call it D1, subdivision D1, D2, there's D3, there's NAIA. You might have to start at a junior college, you might have to go to a prep school, but at the end of the day, where do you end up when that's over with? I mean, what do you do with your life? What do you want to major in? I mean, this guy's got an accounting degree, Donnie does. If things wouldn't have worked out, I mean, you had your degree.
Yeah, I started out in engineering, kind of following in Dad's footsteps, but then I hit that 5-hour calculus class, and I'm like, I'm not going to continue to pursue that, but I switched to finance. So I finished up in finance in 2003, and never really had a chance to utilize it.
That's good, though.
Until now. So, yeah, fortunate to have the opportunity to play, you know, in the NFL, and never would have thought, you know, I would last 15 years, but it really was a blessing, and a lot of work, a lot of time put in.
Don, what is your thoughts about the high school days with Donnie, and what was that like for you as a parent?
High school was fun, but I think the parents at an early age need to expose their children to a lot of different things. When you find something that sticks, like Donnie in football and specifically punting, I think that's when he really blossomed in high school. Because he played tight end and punter.
Right.
But the punting, he didn't really, he punted one time his junior year. That's how stiff the competition was at Catholic. And then his senior year, he was all-state. But he worked at it. He put a lot of work into it, went to camps. But it was something he wanted to do, not something that I wanted him to do for me.
I remember when we were talking, you know, I'm just this college football fanatic. You know, I watch all the teams play. I've been doing it. My dad was a youth league coach for many years, and you know, if I didn't like football, I'd probably have to move as a kid, right? So he took me everywhere. I was involved in everything. Went to all-star games back in the 70s when nobody even went to all-star games for high school football players. But I remember, Don, we were talking about camps and people that have kids that are punters and kickers and long snappers. Back then, you didn't really know where to go, you know, for that. And we were talking about Oklahoma and Ohio State. And I remember, Donnie, you went to those camps.
Yeah, I went to both camps. And actually got offered a scholarship. John Blake was the coach at Oklahoma.
Wow.
And we went up, and I remember, I think it was at the camp he might offer a scholarship.
They offered a scholarship.
I can't recall, but you know, I was kind of up in the air because their program was not in a very good state at the time.
At that time, yeah.
And you know, I had always in my heart, I'd always wanted to go to LSU, being born and raised here, and going to the games with my dad as a child. You know, that was the dream, was to, hey, one day have an opportunity to play there. But went to Ohio State. They actually offered me, they came here for the 99 Sugar Bowl.
Right.
They were playing Texas A&M.
Coach Cooper was the coach,
Yeah,
wasn't
Cooper was.
John Cooper.
John Cooper.
And there was a guy, God, the recruiting
Steve
coordinator
Bartholomew was the punter, I think.
Brent Bartholomew.
Yeah.
Brent Bartholomew at Ohio State. But they came to the park in the country club and worked me out at the park. And I remember there's a tree. It's not there anymore, but I remember punting the ball over this tree, and the guy going, man. But they had also signed B.J. Sander. I don't know if you remember the name B.J. Sander. B.J. ended up, the year I came out, Green Bay traded up to draft him in the third round and lasted a couple years, and I just think mentally he just couldn't do it.
We're going to come back. I want to talk about LSU. Talk about LSU a little bit. We'll be right back. You're watching Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We're good.
That was good, man. You got it down.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with your injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back. Go to our website, lafootballmagazine.com. If you're a mom or dad, 23 years, our preview magazine. This guy was in it. He was on the cover of one of our magazines back in 97, 98, I think 98. I mean, it's crazy. I think it was at Broadmoor High School.
Yeah.
We had Eric Edwards, him, and Henry Barham, I believe, from Watchtower Christian. That's when we only had like 4 guys on the cover. And I remember Donnie looking at me like, where are we taking this picture? And I looked at the photographer and like, I don't even know. How about these stands right here? You know, that was in the beginning stage of trying to figure out how to even do magazines, and you look back and you go, man, that's pretty crazy. But to get back to our interview, we get the preview magazine, 23rd year. We do a North magazine and a South magazine. Actually, Luke Lunsford's on the cover of our South, who's coming on later, the quarterback from Denham Springs. Very good quarterback. There's a lot of stats to talk about, and you know, you were nicknamed Long Ball in the NFL. I didn't even know that.
I had a bunch of nicknames. You know, I just went back. I was at the Eagles-Falcons game on Sunday night and went to the team hotel and was hanging out with the guys, and all the old nicknames came out. But, you know, we talk about playing, and, you know, a lot of times I think about things I'll miss, things I won't miss. You know, the relationships, the locker room, going back, seeing those guys, and them welcoming you with open arms, bringing you into the meeting. I went to the team meeting the night before the game, and you know, those are the things, you know, you look back on and you really miss, you know, when your time's up.
Well, there's a possibility. Never say never.
Never know.
You know, what if Morstead tweaks an ankle or something like that?
I guess there's always a chance, Lee. Even though it might be just a slim chance, there's always a chance.
It's not there anymore. I'm sure you're working on the legs.
I got a tree in my backyard now. I can.
I'm sure you still.
I'm actually working with my son on punting now. Even though he knows it all.
Well, tell everybody, you have a 9-year-old and an 11-year-old. Tell
my son, Weston, is 11. He's a 6th grader at St. George. My daughter is 9, and she's a 4th grader. So staying very busy with them. My wife, Aubrey, who is, well, when we first met, we were
dating.
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
That's right.
And we've been, let's see, I don't want to get this wrong. So we got married in July of '05, so it puts, we just had our 14-year.
You don't want to get that wrong, man.
I don't want to get that wrong, right? But you know, we had a lot of great times, and you know, we were talking before we came on about how time does fly, and you know, 2 more years he'll be at Catholic High.
It's crazy.
But you know, I'm enjoying now time with him, being at home and watching games with him and explaining to him things a lot of people probably wouldn't know just watching the game, and most of it on special teams. So we're enjoying those moments. Brag
on you a little bit. Your LSU career, you were a 4-year starter, and I'm going to say this jokingly, but you played for Nick Saban. You know,
6 years I played for him.
6 years.
4 at LSU and 2 in Miami.
We both have a unique relationship with Nick because you played for him. I worked for him. So the whole time Nick was there, I worked for him. So, you know, I have respect for him as an evaluator, as a coach, as a motivator, the whole 9 yards. Now, at Alabama right now, obviously I'm not pulling for Alabama to beat LSU, you know, but
no.
But I mean, he's
done a lot for me, my career. You know, when I was out, when I got released from Seattle, he gave me another opportunity in the NFL. He claimed me off waivers, and then it went into a situation where Matt Turk was a starter. He gets hurt going into week 1 game, blows his groin. So then I'm elevated, you know, into a starting role. But, you know, he's really done a lot for me, you know, from an early point at LSU, really making me grow up and helping me really, you know, develop into a man.
We're going to show some old pictures here. Speaking of time flying by, but we're going to start with Catholic High. That's you playing tight end.
Yeah.
People don't remember you as a tight end. I do, and that's you punting at LSU.
My drop, man, it's changed a lot.
Number 80. That's when the stands were kind of full. No, I'm kidding. Seattle, your first pro gig.
Yeah, I got booed out of that stadium.
Come on.
Oh, yeah.
The Miami, I wonder if that was the Saints game. That was, I remember the Saints game.
That looks like Tampa Bay, if I can tell from the sign in the bag. But
man, you did change your style a little bit.
I've changed a lot.
The Rams, man, St. Louis. The Texans, Houston.
My patented face mask.
Yeah, man.
I got a lot of.
Do you have a lot of say in that? How your face mask is going to look?
Yeah. When I was in St. Louis, we actually had that custom-made. Jimmy Lake was the equipment manager, and he made that because I didn't like seeing a bar when I punted the ball, so I wanted it low as I could get it. You couldn't do the single bar.
And that's topping on the cake, man. That's the
great moment.
Super Bowl champs.
Great moment.
Philadelphia Eagles.
See, I got my phone there. I had one of the guys hold it on the sideline so I could get all the video.
And then you come back again. And then the Chargers. It's hard to. I want to say San Diego so bad, but it's Los Angeles.
I said it a lot too, and they had to keep reminding me we're the Los Angeles Chargers now. But I had a lot of fun there last year too.
Tell everybody, you know, you and Phillip Rivers were Senior Bowl roommates, I believe?
Teammates.
Teammates.
Yes.
And,
that's, you know, I joke with Phillip, you know, because when I got there, his family is, you know, continuously growing. So I think when we played the Senior Bowl, he had his first child, was pretty new, and now they just had their 9th, I think back in March or April. Yeah. So he's a great guy, man. I love playing with him last year. His energy, the way he motivates. You know, his grittiness. I mean, he talks a lot of trash too, but he's a great person, and we did reminisce about that Senior Bowl and how many years ago we were teammates.
And then between the two of y'all had over 30 years NFL experience.
Yeah,
Phillip's not the norm.
He's in year 16 now. You know, we really in 04 we had a great quarterback class. If you think back, Manning, Roethlisberger, Rivers, Matt Schaub, even who's still playing with the Falcons. You know, we had some talented guys in that class, but I didn't think I'd have that opportunity to go back last year. So when I signed out there, I said, you know what, I'm going to make the most of this. I'm going to have fun because the game is very stressful. Mm-hmm. You know, it's day to day. I mean, you don't know, and like I told you before we came on, I mean, what I'm seeing what they're doing with these punters now, and they're getting into year 6, 7. They're trying to replace them at an earlier age. So I told myself I'm going to go out and I'm going to have fun and enjoy it regardless of what happens. And we had a great team. We really did, but we ran into Tom Brady at the end, and he ended our season.
It was good to come back, go to the playoffs. So, and again, it's not over yet. You know, you never know. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. We got Todd Berry calling in from the AFCA coaches. He's the guy. He's the president of all the college coaches around the country. We'll talk about the transfer portal when we come back.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak, and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None of you's even involved. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
Welcome back, Lee Burkane, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. We've got more Donnie Jones, his dad Don Jones, but we have a big caller that's calling in. I'm very proud to announce Todd Berry, former head coach at ULM of Monroe, coached at Tennessee way back as an assistant, has many years of college coaching, but he is the president of the AFCA Coaches Association. And look, Todd, thanks for joining us. Thanks for taking time to join us today.
My pleasure. I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Todd, you know, I was able to get to know you and come up to ULM and Monroe, and when you were the coach, you were Coach of the Year, one of your seasons there in the conference. But, you know, the new thing now is tell everybody, first of all, promote the convention for all those high school coaches that are watching to attend the upcoming one. I think that'll be this coming, January?
That's correct. Yeah, every year we get together as collectively as a group, and we talk about the issues and vote and debate, and obviously have a lot of educational opportunities for the coaches. This year it's in Nashville. We kind of are going back and forth between San Antonio and Nashville now, and the next 2 years is actually in Nashville, but expecting about 9,000 coaches, and the majority, obviously, of our collegiate coaches make it, and then we have about 3,000 high school members now, too, out of our 16,000 members that we have.
Coach, I've seen the conventions. I've been to a few of them over the years. It's nothing's like it. I mean, the workshops you can get from a college standpoint. The Canadian Football League comes. I mean, it's like every coach from the United States, from Minnesota to Louisiana, attends this. But a lot of high school coaches might not realize, you know, what this has and what you can get out of it. But tell everybody a little bit about, I mean, this is a 4 or 5 day event. This is not just one day. And I mean, these coaches lead better coaches when they come to the event.
Yeah, we'd like to think so. I know that I always did. I spent 34 years as a collegiate coach, and the AFCA started off as a college organization, actually to help promote health and safety, which we still do for our student athletes. But this is, as I mentioned, we have over 400 events that are going on during that 4 days, and I think it is a great opportunity to grow as a coach, to not just learn about the X's and O's and the motivation and leadership forms that we have, but also we talk about everything from social issues, which is obviously a big part of what we're doing right now, to alcohol and drug abuse, to gambling, to all the different things that basically are impacting our profession right now. And this is not just college coaches anymore. This is everyone, and even by being a member, you have the opportunity to have at your fingertips on our website about 5,000 videos, 9,000 articles. And so if you want to stay up to date, or if you want to even just go back and listen to Bear Bryant speak to the national coaches convention. There's plenty of opportunities to really grow as a coach. So I agree. It's an altering event, I think, in every coach's life. They change once they've been.
And I think I do a great job of having 3 really Hall of Fame speakers every year, coaches that are really great and well known, and also the strength side of it. You see all the strength coaches there learning. You see the pro coaches there from the NFL, and it's huge. And but if you're a high school coach watching this show, I think it's important not only to learn and to attend this, but to get your kids signed too, because you get a chance to go meet all the assistants in the country. Where else can you do that as a high school coach, to go mingle with every coach in America? Isn't that right,
That's
Coach?
absolutely true. All around the country, and we all recognize that most programs are recruiting nationally now, even our Division II and Division III programs. And so consequently, there is that opportunity. And a lot of our high school coaches will obviously bring their computer with them and log into Huddle and sit down with a collegiate coach and talk to them about their student athlete and obviously watch video together.
Todd, a lot of things, Coach, is on the horizon in the public view, and I know that new rules will be announced probably when the next convention's over, and I'm sure all the college coaches will talk. But what is your stance on the transfer portal, and do you think there'll be anything changed with that maybe, or you think that'll be changed at all in the future?
Well, I think it has to be. I don't think there's any question that it has to be, because right now we have significant inconsistencies. And that's not fair to the student athletes, not fair to the programs. Now, let me. As coaches, we're not against transfers. I think that's been painted out there. What we are for is we're about our student athletes graduating, and so consequently we have always been. We were unanimous last year at our convention in terms of voting on this. We are for the graduate transfer. We think that once the young man or young lady in other sports has graduated, they should have the freedom and flexibility to go wherever they want to basically further their education, to have an opportunity to play, and so on. And so we're completely for that. What we have problems with is the inconsistencies in the undergraduate realm, because every data point that you look at, regardless of sport, age, grade point average, socioeconomic background, they graduate at a lesser rate when they transfer. And we don't think that that's what this is supposed to be about. We have a great scholastic model at our universities, and we want to maintain that. And so what we've proposed is that the young person, whenever they decide to transfer as undergraduate, that they sit a year. And most of them need that just to adapt. Many times they're transferring to maybe take care of an ill parent or something along those lines. And quite honestly, they don't need football as a part of their life during that time frame. They need to take care of business. And this is the way that it always used to be. It wasn't until about 20 years ago where some of the other sports decided to go and allow for them to transfer with no set. And so that's created the problem for the NCAA. And many of those sports, for instance, baseball, have gone back to setting a year. But we recognize that we're not wanting to punish the student. And so what we've said as coaches is you transfer, you set, regardless of your circumstance. And if you graduate from that university, then you get that year back. And so consequently, they can go on and work on their masters. They're not missing any playing time. We think this is a win-win for the student and for the programs, because obviously where we're at this point in time is that some students are getting transfers, waivers, some are not. There's no consistency in it. And so consequently, we're seeing universities recruit students off other campuses. And certainly with what the state of California did, what Judge Wilkins did in relation to the name, image, and likeness, we want student athletes to transfer for the right reasons. And obviously, with that coming down the road also, we're going to certainly have an awful lot of agents, third parties, lawyers, all those kind of things, basically suggesting that they go someplace else.
Coach, you played at Tulsa, from Oklahoma. I want to get that out there. You were a quarterback in college. You got to get that out. Coach with Johnny Majors at Tennessee. I've got one more thing to mention about the NCAA and just, with the Coaches Association. But What about increasing scholarships? Is that something that could happen in the future? It's 85 right now. You have all these kids transferring for different reasons like we talked about, but is 85 a safe number? Is that something that could be looked at again?
We've had discussions about it, certainly, both with, I sat on all the NCAA committees, and there's certainly been discussions about that, as our coaches have also discussed that. I think that Title IX has been a wonderful opportunity for our female athletes to have more opportunities, and obviously with Title IX, then the 85 number becomes a very, very difficult number for most universities to meet on the female side, and so consequently expanding that becomes, I think, very, very problematic, and so I do not see any kind of expansion because of Title IX issues.
Coach, one other thing, are any speakers in line yet for the upcoming convention in Nashville? Any coaches already on?
Not yet. We will have a tremendous lineup, as you well know.
Yes,
our headliners are the tops in the profession, but we generally wait until about mid-October to kind of see where everything's kind of playing out at that point in time. Certainly, we want to try to get the best guys from this year, and that'll play itself out throughout the course of the season. But it'll be another great lineup, as it always is. The only one that is actually secured, Mac Brown is going to do our victory formation speech, which basically ends our convention on Tuesday afternoon.
And what I love is the national championship's always the night. I was able to watch it with a bunch of college coaches. That's an interesting deal to watch it with all the different colleges, except the two playing in the game, right? So, but Todd, give the website out one more time for all the high school coaches watching the show so they can go on for the convention this coming January. What's the website again?
Yeah, it's AFCA.com, and I would suggest that, as you recognize, they have a lot of members. People have already signed up and booked rooms at the convention.
Yeah, definitely.
And it fills up very, very quickly. And so AFCA.com, and even if they're not going to be able to come to the convention, to have the access of those 5,000 videos and 9,000 articles at their fingertips, to where if they want to look at something from the Inside Zone read to hear Eddie Robinson talking to the convention there's significant amount of knowledge that can be acquired just on the website alone.
And don't lose the direction piece, because it's 3.5 miles inside that hotel. You get lost, trust me. Every tree looks the same in that atrium.
That's the nice thing, is you keep walking in a circle, you're going to see
you eventually find your way back.
Everybody over a period of time. That's correct.
All right, Coach, thank you for taking the time. Thanks, Coach Berry. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, that was Coach Todd Berry. I mean, great guy. He's the guy. He's the head of all the coaches in the United States for college football. We'll be back with Don and Donnie Jones, and also later in the show we got our Denham Springs recruits. Don't change the channel. We'll be right back.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gerard. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I spent years suffering from knee pain, so I decided to have replacement surgery. My doctor did a great job, and he allowed me to choose Peak for my PT. I should have done this a long time ago. I'm so glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lieber King, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. Look, Todd Berry's trying to recruit some high school coaches. And if you're a high school coach or you're an athletic director, the school will finance that to get you to Nashville. But can you imagine 5 days in front of Steve Spurrier, David Cutcliffe, Frank Beamer, Nick Say, all these guys who aren't in a national championship game, okay? Whoever's not in the game. But it's 10,000 coaches. I sat with Edmonton, their coaching staff last year. And I was just talking about Canadian League stuff and the big end zones and, and these guys talk Canadian. They were from Canada. And I thought it was just unique. I learned a lot about the rules of the CFL, And then if you're a high school coach and you got a bunch of D2, D3 kids or 1AA guys that aren't D1, you could get them all signed. Where else can you do that,
Seems
Don?
like a no-brainer, man.
Right.
I didn't even know they had that.
Yeah.
But one, it seems like it'd be a great experience. It'd be fun to do. And then just to pick the brain of all these different individuals, if you can take one or two things away from it that you think could help your program. I'm not a coach, but shoot, I'd like to go. Because I think it'd be cool just to.
They might hire you as a speaker, man.
Well, I could
fly
do that.
down there with Aubrey and play golf.
I could do that too. Yeah, if there's golf, I'm definitely in. For sure.
Donnie finished LSU with a 42.4 average punting, 65 punts as a senior for 2,757 yards. It's a few miles.
Yeah, I would think. I'd have to do the math, but right, 2757 times what, 3?
The national championship game, Oklahoma. You were in a Super Bowl. I mean, is that a dream of when you're a little kid and you're watching TV with your dad and mom, and now you get to live being a punter in the Super Bowl with the Eagles, and then you played the national championship and won both of them, by the way.
Yeah.
Not as a.
I think Michael Bonnet had mentioned to me last time I saw Michael that I was the only punter to win both a national championship and a Super Bowl, which I didn't know. I don't think that was ever a dream as a kid, was to play in a national championship. I think it became more of a dream when I got to LSU, when I got to the NFL. And, at that level, even at high school, what is your goal each year? And we'd always put our goals out, most recently in the NFL. And every year it's to win a world championship. The first meeting is a Lombardi Trophy. And, to have an opportunity to not only play in that game, but to win it, and to win it against New England, the game Brady had, he threw for over 500 yards on us, and we won. When I look back at that team, we were a special group. And I almost think we were destined to be there to win that game. And, a lot of times it's not how talented you are, it's how your guys work together. And we were a true team. You look at all the guys we lost. We lost our starting quarterback, starting left tackle, starting middle linebacker, starting punt returner, starting special teams ace, you name it. And we won. I didn't used to wear my ring a whole lot, but last year as a member of the Chargers, going back to New England and having Brady just whoop us, it really made me think how special and how fortunate I was to be a part of that. So I wear my ring more. I didn't wear it today, but I brought it to the game Sunday, and it's just a great memory to have.
Don, being a dad sitting in the stands at the Super Bowl, what was that like for you? You went through it with LSU with Donnie.
Winning the game was a thrill of a lifetime. It's something you never dream will happen. And I was so so excited for Donnie because he had worked so hard so many years. And sometimes you come away with nothing. But that moment is probably one I'll remember the rest of my life. It's probably the highlight of his football career.
This is something I didn't know, actually. Don helped me with this, your dad. But first punter in NFL history to average at least 50 yards gross and 40 yards net in a single season. The first punter in NFL history since Sammy Ball.
Sammy Ball.
1940 to average at least 50 yards gross in a single season. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
This throbbing neck pain was so bad it moved to my shoulders and was causing severe headaches. Then a friend suggested I choose Peak. 2 weeks later, the pain was completely gone. So glad I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
I'll leave for a little while. And all you other letters think you can take over my town. Look at you. None issues even a vowel. If the people want the money they deserve for their accident.
The E-guarantee.
And as for you other letters, it's time you were erased.
My shoulder pain got so bad I couldn't lift anything overhead. So I chose Peak Performance, and I can't believe how much better I am now. Peak really does get you back into the game of life. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Welcome back, Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV Magazine. That was a great guest with Donnie Jones, his dad, Don, and Amanda, his mom, will be watching the show, and good to have them back on, and memories. Todd Berry calling in from the AFCA Coaches Convention there. And then we've got our Denham Springs recruits. And look, I'm going to let the leader, one of the leaders of the team, announce his teammates. But to my left is quarterback Luke Lunsford. But Luke, introduce your guys that keep your jersey clean, or try to.
Yes,
To
I
your
appreciate
left.
their work a lot. This is Alex Harris, and on the ends, my center, Lake Thorburn.
What do you think of these guys, man? I mean, without these big guys, I mean,
Yeah, I don't know what I'd do. They were my guys last year, and going into year 2 with them, you know, with just confidence in each other. You know, I know Alex has my blind side, and I'm confident in Lake in every snap.
Lake, you're the sleeper of the group here. You took a visit to Millsaps recently. I mean, you could play guard or center in college.
Yes, sir.
What do you think of this team and the potential of the team moving forward? I know 0-2, but you know it's a long season. It's non-district. Y'all didn't even get in district play yet. So what do you think about the team?
The team is good. We've just been off to a rough start, just a few plays that we need to turn around. But going forward, it should be all good for us.
Alex committed to Brown University. Your brother's there. Not a bad college to go to.
Yes, sir.
When did you know that would probably be your destination? How long ago?
Well, it's probably about middle of July is when I went up there and took camps and stuff. And so the day after the camp, I actually called, the head coach called me, and James Perry is their head coach. He said, I'd like to have you there. So then about late July or early August, whenever I kind of realized that place felt like home. So.
And your brother's there, so that makes it easier.
Yes, sir.
6'5", right? 290?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I mean, sometimes I could be off a few, you know. I mean, depends on the week with linemen, right? And what do they want you as, a tackle or a guard?
Anywhere they need me, I'm
I
fine.
got you.
So I'll be ready for anything.
What is your goals this year for your offense and your team, blocking for this young man, Luke? Y'all got one of the top quarterbacks in Baton Rouge and the state, but what are your goals as an offensive lineman?
Just keep him good. Make sure he doesn't get hit. Give those running backs room to run. Make sure it's time to pass the ball.
Luke, you've come back from an injury. You're not even 100%. You're playing through it. You know, you've had, you know, your back it hurt it a little bit, but you toughed it out, man. You're a tough guy.
Yeah, it was definitely rough throughout the summer, not being able to get chemistry with my receivers and stuff like that with the guys. But I knew I wanted to be playing when August hit, so that's what I did, and I feel better every week.
We've got some highlights on you guys. We're going to start. Let's go ahead and go with Lake. Want to get it ready, and guys, let us know when y'all have that ready. But this is Lake on the offensive line here, and this is y'all's jerseys. I'm used to seeing the white jerseys. These are the darker jerseys here.
Yeah, that was Coach Khan's first thing when he got there. He wanted to switch it up.
Switch it up a little bit. Look pretty neat, man.
Yeah.
Good-looking jerseys at the home field, Denham Springs. You know, the offensive line average is about 270. I mean, y'all got a big O-line. Got some young guys that can play as well. And this is here the handing off. Look at the O-line. Look at the holes, man. I could run through that, I think. These big guys, they open it up for the run game. I know y'all got some young backs. I mean, I know that y'all don't have a D1 running back, but y'all still in the middle of trying to get the running game where it needs to be, and that's what most high school teams. But we got all three players on one highlight. I mean, that's Luke and the two O-linemen. Mention some of the young linemen, guys on the O-line, some of the young guys.
So right tackle, he's Trey Harrell. He
6'5",
yeah,
too?
he's about the same height as me, a little bit lighter than me though. He would actually play a little bit last year. He'd go in a few plays, but I mean, he's put in a lot of work over the summer. He's getting a lot stronger and stuff. So,
Chris Smith?
Yeah, you want to?
Oh yeah, Chris. I mean, he's a big guy. He can move about anybody on that D line.
6'2", 320 probably.
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's improved so much from last year.
He's a mauler. Yeah.
There's nobody he can't stop.
He's inside. It's good having that big guy 320 inside and the 6'5" guys outside, and then you're racking up inside with him too. I mean, there's no small. I mean, you're not small. You're 260 plus. So.
Yeah, but I'm the smallest of all five of us.
And Luke, I mean, you're 6'3", 220, 225. So, who is the smallest guy now? I mean, I guess the receivers.
Yeah, the receivers would be the smallest guys.
But y'all got some tall guys.
Yeah,
a couple of tall receivers. Luke, what do you want to tell college coaches that are watching? You're under the radar. I think you're a D1 quarterback. What do you want to tell the colleges about what you'd like to do and where you'd like to go when this is over with?
Yeah, I just like to tell college coaches that I can be a leader on any team, and I'm going to work really hard, and I'm going to do everything I can to make a play. And that's what I'd like them to do.
You got the arm.
Yeah.
And you've got good feet in the pocket, and people watch his junior film. I mean, he's threw for how many yards? He threw for over 3,000 yards last year.
Right there, 2,800 around there.
Honesty, there you go.
Yes.
Don't add those 200 yards. Lake, tell everybody about what you bring to the table as a sleeper too. You're a sleeper O-lineman right now.
Well, of course, being the center, I can read a lot of defenses. I'm very smart up front, but I can also switch off to guard, left guard or right guard, and I can play. It's whatever they need.
And most centers aren't over 6'1" in college, and some of them are 6 feet. So you don't have to be tall to play center. Just like you said, be smart, call the plays, be quick off the snap. Let these big guys just go at it and get the nose guards and those guys. But Luke, what's your goals this year? We asked your teammates, what are your goals this year as a quarterback?
As a quarterback, I just want to get the ball all around. You know, besides us three right here and one other guy, you know, it's all new guys on the offense. So every week we're trying to get more comfortable with those guys, and I think as that comes, you know, we can do anything as an offense.
Luke threw for 27 touchdowns, almost 30 touchdowns. That's not bad in a balanced offense. Any goals, guys, on the O-line? How many yards y'all can rush for at the end of the year? Any 2,000, 1,500? Any goals there?
Our only goal for Luke is to make sure that he's never on the ground.
There you go.
That's the last thing we ever want to
coach
see.
is smiling seeing that.
Yeah.
Guys, good luck to you. Get that W this week. Y'all going to go on a roll. I know that the season will turn around. You only need about 6 games probably to get to the playoffs in 5A. I know y'all can do it.
Yes, sir.
Good luck to everyone.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, watching Louisiana Football TV magazine. Next week, we'll have big-time guests again. Check us out all week.
Exercising is my life, so when I had to stop because of my foot and ankle pain, I was absolutely devastated. I chose Peak, and they taught me how to relieve the pain. They really do bring out the athlete in everyone. Choose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Well, I've had back pain now and then, but it got so bad I couldn't even bend over. I didn't want to resort to pain pills, so I chose Peak, hoping they could relieve the pain. They got me active again. I even lost weight. I believe in better. I chose Peak.
Choose Peak Performance Physical Therapy.
Honey, what's wrong with the disposer?
What disposer?
Clogged drain? Call Roto-Rooter, America's neighborhood drain expert.
I'm injury lawyer E. Eric Gerard. There's a Superman comic where he leaves Earth and comes back only to find a bunch of other superheroes trying to fight evil, but just not getting the job done. Well, I'm back. Now there's all these other lawyers on TV saying they can help you with their injury claim, but something's just not the same. There's only one Superman, and there's only one E. E. Eric Gaylord. eGuarantee.com. Get the E. Guarantee.
Welcome back to Lee Burkeen, Louisiana Football TV magazine. I'm going to also talk to these recruits. We're going to get Alex Harris's highlight video ready. And on offensive line, 6'5", 290, going to Brown University. Let's go ahead and check that out. On the O-line, I mean, these guys are confusing to see who's who. They're all big guys, but point out, Alex, who you are on this film for the audience, right there on the left. The guy on the ground, that's Alex putting him on the ground.
Yeah.
Here he is again, left tackle.
Yeah.
This is kind of wet. That's impressive on a wet field.
It was Sam Houston, yeah.
Here's another, whoa.
Yeah.
And look, this is 5A ball, man. These are big guys that you're putting on the ground. These aren't 200-pound guys. These are 250.
Yeah. I always remember having to go up there. Those were always fun. So
yeah, Lake and Chris are doing it. And here's the white uniforms again here on the left tackle. You know, this guy's about 6'2", 240, 250.
Yeah.
Tackle, you bend pretty good. You get low. I know they mentioned that a lot. Your line coach wants you to get low, and because these guys are quick off the edge.
Yeah, it's always fun. You walk up there and looking down at the guy, so it's you have to get really low to get under them and block them up. So, but I mean, I've managed. I've had a line coach, Jacob Fleming. He's been really good as far as the coaching goes, as far as coaching all of us.
We want to thank Jacob, too, for supplying your highlights. He got them to us.
Yeah, he's made out both of them.
Coach Fleming's a very intense, great guy, man. He brings a lot of energy. Want to go ahead and get our quarterback, Lunsford's highlight. Got some music behind it.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Got to get some music.
Fancy there.
Hey, man, a little bit of an arm. This is you dropping back, standing up in the pocket, which is impressive, right on the money. That's hard over the shoulder.
Yeah.
So this is, again, setting your feet. I mean, you can throw it 50 yards pretty easily.
Sir.
Setting your feet again, stepping up. You avoided two people here. That's what I like about you, because you're over 200 pounds. You're in that 220, 225 range. And you will wait for you guys to get open. You will hang in the pocket and take the hits. Here's another one. It's a hard pass right here over the shoulder in the end zone. You picked the music?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I wanted to give the audience something to listen to while
there
they
you go.
check this thing out.
Here's your roll. Look, you can roll out. People that say you can't. Look, on the run, little burrow here, man.
Yes, sir.
Stepping up again. What's your favorite pass?
Go.
Here's you running the ball.
Yep.
The QB sneak, 40 yards.
You know, I know coaches don't want you running all the time because they don't want you to get hurt.
Yeah.
Just like Burrow at LSU, they don't want him to run all the time. But what do you think of running the ball as a quarterback? When are you thinking about, okay, it's 3rd and 10, it's open field.
Yeah.
That Mike, he's about 10 yards off of me, but I got to go 10. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm actually more confident in it this year. You know, I like running the ball. Coach Kahn doesn't like it too much, but I've put on probably 20, 25 pounds since last season, so I feel more comfortable running the ball in 5A against those big defenders.
You know, it's tough because when you're rolling out and you're going toward the sidelines, you know, you want to throw the ball across your body. It's tempting.
Yeah, it is.
Or do you go out?
No, I'll just go out, or I'll try to direct my guys to go a certain way and try to get them behind the coverage.
Give your wide receivers some love. Mention a couple of your wideouts. I've seen them play, but I'll let you.
Troy Goldman, Philip Earnhardt, Braden Benkaz, and Preston Holwager. Those are my 4 guys, and they've done great learning the offense, you know, and I'm excited for them to gain confidence every week and see what we can do.
Philip Earnhart's got some wheels on him.
Yeah, he does.
I mean, he's a little underrated.
Yeah,
he's a
he's
senior.
very fast.
I think you play a small college.
Yes. Yeah, for sure.
And then Goldman, is that the brother of
cousin
former running back? Cousin.
Cousin of Tyree Goldman. he's taller, but he also has the wheels. He can go up and get a ball.
He's got the ability to be a great player.
He does.
And he's really young still. Anybody on defense that y'all would like to mention? Y'all got a good, tough defense, good linebackers. Anybody to mention?
Yeah, I'd say Tristan Dewey. He's the quarterback of the defense. And Hayden Horn, safety. You know, those are two seniors that really have led the defense. And they're a good group of guys this year.
Hayden Horn's a big safety. He actually looks like an outside linebacker. 6'2", I want to say 210, 215. He's put together pretty good.
Yeah, and then Berard goes against him every day in
Berard's
practice.
a tough guy.
Yeah, it gets him better, I know for sure.
You know, y'all play some tough teams. I mean, Ponchatoula, tough. Y'all started off with Hahnville. I went to the Hahnville game. I mean, they're a top 5 team. Talk about this week. Who's this opponent this Friday coming up?
We have Sandoval this week, and you know, they have a winning tradition there. But you know, we're just excited to you know, turn our season around this week, and we're excited to do that.
It's a home game, right?
Yes, it is.
You know what I really enjoyed going to the Hahnville game? They were representing the old runner-up team from the 70s. I think 1971. From Denham Springs, they had all these guys in their jerseys. I thought that was great.
His dad was on the freshman team, right?
Yeah, my dad was freshman, sophomore, whatever that.
But it was good to see all those guys now in their 50s and 60s, late 60s, mid 60s, from that 71 team, and it was an interesting. I mean, they were runner-up from winning the state title, and it was just good to see all those guys come together and be at the game. And you know, Denham Springs puts a lot of people in the seats. I mean, it's packed every night.
Yeah, it is. It's an awesome atmosphere to play in. Our student section, our fans, you know, they give us a lot of love and support, and it's awesome playing there.
I wanted to say before we go, that student section is real at Denham Springs.
It is.
I mean, it's about 400 or 500 kids, and they're loud.
Yeah.
They have mics. They get on the opponent. They get on the refs. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, guys, again, I signed off too earlier, but this is the final part of our show. I want to thank all our guys from Denham Springs. Thank you, guys. Good luck to you. Thank Donnie Jones, Don Jones, Todd Berry with the AFCA, and we'll see you next week.